There you go.
agent.
All right,
I
I'm
don't think we're supposed to be bragging about that, you guys.
gonna. No, it's just how long we've been in the world, right?
Yeah.
With Microsoft. So all the changes that have happened, all the things that have been there, I've been a part of almost every bit of it. So I've loved my time there. So I'm gonna give you all two slides. Can you all see my screen right now?
Yes.
Perfect. Two slides. I'm going to jump in and actually show you the product. So Yooz, we were born in the cloud in 2010, but we are an spinoff of a world-class on-premise based AP automation provider that was founded back in the 80s. So we have over 35 plus years of process automation and deep OCR experience. We are a global, company, so we have 5,000 plus clients over 40 countries. And I think one of the really important pieces here is that 25% of our revenue is reinvested in R&D because our goal is to not only earn your business today, but every day forward. And so I'm going to show you a quick slide, just a brief high-level overview of some of the awards. I like to call this the pretty award list, that the best ones that they look like. But if we were to fill this up with every award we have a lot of different pages. So I'm going to go ahead and end the slideshow and jump right into the application because I'm sure this is what really everybody wants to see. So within the application, the first screen we have here is our to-do section. And what this really is I have a task to perform. One of the most common things I hear from people is, hey, how do I know when I have something? So there's two ways that this can occur. One, user can go right into the application and see this to-do screen, and this means they have a task to perform. The other way is via notifications. And notifications can be sent via email. They can be sent right in the app itself if a user spends more time in the app, or it can be sent via our mobile app. So if a user prefers to have that mobile phone notification, like if they had Facebook or Instagram or something like that, they could work from there as well. And so this is really important because I find from clients that we speak to, it's the approvers that have the biggest issue with, hey, how do I know I've not only completed something, but I've responded to the right item? And that's where this is important because there's no more confusion now. Have I responded to that email, to that email? Yes, it's right here. And Yooz is outside of Business Central, and that's important because, just like Jesse said earlier, when you're outside of Business Central, you don't need licenses for Business Central. And that's a really important piece if you're trying to reduce your licensing cost. Now, within our capture engine, you keep the same email address you have today. We don't want to confuse your vendors. Your vendors have been using that for quite a while. But the goal is to have this as automated as possible. But what I'm going to show you here is just a quick show of how fast the actual solution works when it comes to bringing items in. So I'm just going to drop an invoice in here. And what's going to happen is we're going to read this invoice like a human would. We use complete, AI technology. We call it smart data extraction. And what's happening is during the 30 to 60 seconds that it takes for our system to capture this invoice, it's actually reading it like a human would. And that's really important because we're actually indexing every word, every letter, every punctuation mark that occurs there, which then also makes it searchable. It can also use our workflows around it as well. One of our key pieces that customers love is the workflow engine that we have. I always like to say, if you can wave a magic wand, what would you like your workflow to look like? We can make it as simple or as complex as you need it to be, which is really important because you know what? Everybody has a unique approval process. Now you see this piece right here, this little notification. This is that invoice I just dropped. That's how quick our application is when it comes to processing invoices. So just wanted to call that out. We have different steps within the process, all the way from review to approval to even payments, and we can customize the workflow within there. What's really important within the Yooz application is I love the no-touch workflows. What we call the no trust workflow or no touch workflows is, hey, trust but verify. And that's really important because we want companies to have to focus, get out of the day-to-day invoices they're seeing all the time. And what do you really want to focus on? You want to focus on the exception invoices that are coming in, the ones that you really want to spend your time on because those are the ones that you need to be aware of. We can give multiple approvals based on amounts. We can give parallel approvals if you have multiple lines, multiple projects that you need to route to different users for approval. And because I mentioned we're indexing everything, we can even do workflows based on keywords, which is really important as well. Now, one of the things I love about our workflow is that the other piece we talked about approvers, getting them to approve things in a timely manner, we can actually help chase down approvals. So you don't have to be the person who does that and become the bad guy at the office because you're chasing people down. Hey, I need you to prove this, prove that. You can mark tasks as late based on how you want to, and then once they're late, you can even escalate them, which is really important because again, then it's not you doing it, it's us. Let us chase those down for you. All right, so now I'm going to go right back into the do section here. And so this is where you start to see the invoices themselves. Now I'm going to show you this invoice right here because this invoice is an invoice that I just dropped in. So as you can see here, it that fast looked at the invoice and said, hey, this is a PO-based invoice. But you'll notice here there's no purchase order number here. And that's because in our system, we haven't either received that PO because we haven't submitted it in our system, or the PO hasn't been received in Business Central and sent over to us. But as quick as the application, I dropped the invoice in, it was able to determine, hey, this is a PO-based invoice, but yet we don't have the PO there. And that's a really important piece. This other one, however, actually does have a PO against it, so you can see that it's matched it against the PO, pulled in all the lines, including any budget, division, projects that you may have. So we're going to sync all of those dimensions from Business Central. We're going to sync your vendors. We're going to sync all your codes, projects, things that are really important to you when it comes to coding. And we're going to ensure that the Yooz application mirrors your environment. What's important to you? What fields do you need to code every invoice? Because not everybody uses every field. We want to make sure it's custom to you. Now, with an invoice like this, I see that everything is here. The invoice image is over here. All the properties are here, lines down here. And you notice as I hover over, it's popping that out. That's because I mentioned to you before that we're indexing everything. And that's really, really important because I can even add comments in here, and I can take information off of this and lasso it in, and you can see that it'll take that into here. So that's a really cool piece, allowing you to communicate things to users within the organization or within the approval workflow process, so without you actually having to do that typing itself. And then once everything is validated, all you have to do is hit the submit button and you are done. It moves on. So now I'm going to go ahead and go back out here because it's reflecting something, a duplicate PO, but I want to show you a duplicate PO later. Over here in Joe Petroleum, this is an example of a non-PO based invoice. Again, you'll see similar screen. Everything is captured. You'll see that we have 3 lines down here. So however you need to code this. But I can take that lasso piece one step further. I can even do that within the application by clicking on things, even lassoing in totals if I want to do. So I have a lot of different ways I can make this system work. But let's say that I wanted to split this evenly across the 3 lines that are here. I can put it in a simple Excel-like formula, which I know we all love, and I can propagate it down. Now you can see this invoice has been matched. And I can now submit, push it through, and we are good to go. The next one that pulls up, again, we talk about the different things that we're pulling in, different pieces, different lines. It's as quick as simple as submitting the invoice just like that. So really getting to your exceptions like this one here, which is our Stokes invoice. And this is an example right here. It's calling out, hey, we see this as a duplicate invoice. Check it out. We don't ask you to go look for it, go find it yourself. You can click the view document button right here, and it's going to show you, and you can compare those side by side, really confirm is this truly a duplicate or not. If it is, you can delete it, get it out of the system. You even have the ability to communicate to your vendors within our application. You can email them right here, or within our application, if you have a vendor, you can even set them up as a user if you want to, and they would have access to just their invoices to allow communication between you and your vendors, or give them access to see, hey, what is the status of my invoices that I have submitted without them having to reach out to you via email or call your people and say, hey, where is it at? We can even do foreign-based invoices. So this one here is in French, but it's been able to capture everything even though it was in French. And it'll also notice that, hey, this is in euros, and so we can do the currency conversion. So again, whatever your business is looking for, if you're in Canada, we're very, very strong with the Canadian taxes as well. So we're here to support you. And then here's another great exception of invoice as well. This is one that says, hey, the vendor doesn't exist within Business Central because we're syncing that data from Business Central. We're calling that out to make sure that you're not getting hit for a potential fraudulent invoice. And that's really important because we want to make sure we're protecting our users and that they don't pay anything they shouldn't be paying. And if it needs to be set up, you can block this, say it's, hey, missing something, set up in ERP. Once it's been set up in Business Central, that'll sync over to Yooz. It can then be tied and processed down the line. Once it's been blocked, you'll see it here in this blocked component. So that way it's out of your to-do section, which is really important because we don't want to, muddy this up. We want this to be really simple and clean for you. As you've pushed an invoice down, you'll notice down here in the in-progress section, we have a lot of things. So I was able to process quite a few invoices there very, very quickly. That's the goal. Now I'm going to show you what it looks like to approve an invoice. So I'm going to impersonate, which is available to just the admins of the application. It's not available to everybody, but the approval is just as simple as the review side that I just showed. So again, it's got to be simple. If it's not simple for your approvers, they're not going to want to adapt and use the application. So we make this as simple as possible for them. They'll see the actual image over here, just like you did before, the information over here, the lines down here. They have the ability to approve it, send it back, or forward it to somebody else should they want to. We can even change rights to give them the ability to edit things down here in the lines if you should so choose to. Because again, every company is different, every user is different. So you want to make sure it's what you need them to be able to do. If everything looks good, all they have to do simply is hit the approval button. They can do this here in the application, or they can pull out their mobile app and also approve within the mobile app. If that's not fast enough for your approvers, they can go into their completed folder, because by the time it gets to an approver, everything should be complete. They can quickly review in this details panel with the image over here on the image of the actual invoice. The properties right here, lines right here. And if they want to manage budgets as well, they can put them right here. But after they've gone through and done all of that, they can quickly hit this button here, process automatically. Now they've done a bulk submittal of all of those invoices, making it quick, making it easy. So one is that is done. It moves over to our payment option. And again, with our payment option, this is for clients who need assistance in making payments. Should you be happy with how you're making payments today, keep using that. We'll send it over to Business Central. We'll send the invoice over ready to be paid. Don't have to use us if you don't want to, but if you do need it, it's as quick and easy as being able to approve invoices in the actual workflow. Should be a part of it. Once an invoice is approved, it then goes to our payer within their payments portal here. They'll see the invoices available to be paid, where we can actually schedule invoices to be paid, every other week, every 2 weeks, whatever makes sense for you and your business every day. And then once it's been paid, you'll see it down here in our payments in progress. Once it's been completed, obviously it moves over to here, the right side. Now we can use these payments to make payments based on multiple invoices, even including credit notes, to ensure that you're taking advantage of any credit notes that you have when you make those payments. So I'm going to try to, Amy, I'm at 13 minutes, I think, but I'm going to go ahead and end it there, because what I want to do is make sure that I put this up for users that want to see more. They can scan that and we can move forward and get them in touch with them. But I also want to make sure I give you another minute back in time for the next presenter.
Thanks, Jared. You do have a question?
Yes.
Can you map lines to a project code? We bill clients from our AP invoices.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can. We can sync all the data in from Business Central to help match each line that you can then sync it back and bill your clients for.
All right. Keep the questions coming. Put them in the chat and we'll get to them. Thank you so much, Jared.
Thank you, Amy. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.
All right.